Hey YouTube, it's Wednesday, a windy Wednesday. For those of you who are in the Midwest, well, actually, I'm seeing that this is happening all over the country. One of the windiest Aprils on record. Las Vegas, up where I'm at here in the northern plains, the high northern plains. So I want to do this video in real time, and I'm here again with my corncob pipe enjoying some Sail Regular. Got that in the mail yesterday with a can of Velvet. The store here wasn't carrying the Velvet, so I decided to order something online. So I said, well, why don't I throw in some Sail? And I've got some Medico pipe filters coming to me from Amazon and a really cool disc by Vivaldi, Concertos on Authentic Instruments, which I had years ago off the Madison label. I think I talked about that in a previous video. Had a black and gold cover. Really well done, really well done. So that's coming in the mail, and I'm also getting a vinyl copy of Ramsey Lewis's Go in Latin. Really great album from the 60s. It's hard to find, but if you find it, if you can find the CD, buy it. You won't regret it. Great album. And if you can find a copy of this Concertos on Authentic Instruments by Vivaldi, get it. Now, somebody was commenting on Amazon that the name they use, Alberto Lizio was actually a pseudonym for 3 different conductors when they did this recording. But nevertheless, it's a great CD to have in your collection if you can find it. So where do you want to go today? And I'm drinking some Great Value root beer, which I believe was like $3.14 for the 12-pack. Can't beat that. So should we go to Fox News, Yahoo? You want to do NBC, maybe Google News? So far I've been able to pull up Fox and Yahoo. Let me see if I can get to NBC News, see what they're saying. I finally got my computer back up and running with the Wi-Fi. I had to change one of the settings in here. For those of you who have a Chromebook, you just have to go, and it's like you have to override this captive portal screen that pops up that's blank. I was reading this is a bug with the Chromebooks for some reason. Well, it's not going to, oh, there it goes. No, it's not going to bring up the NBC News, so let's just go to Yahoo. Brooklyn subway shooting suspect Frank James arrested in New York City. Apparently this guy was a BLM supporter. The cameras in Brooklyn, in New York, weren't working, so they couldn't catch this guy, and he was on the subway riding around for like 20 some odd hours. You mean to tell me? This is the first thing that comes to mind whenever any of these incidents happen. You mean to tell me that not one person who was ever involved in any of these incidents has a concealed weapon where they could have stopped this perp? Ever notice that? Some people are saying this is a false flag. I don't know if that's the case or not. But apparently he had a YouTube channel. He supports BLM. He thinks that whites and blacks should be on a separate planet. Well, there you go. Go ahead and take race back 150 years. I wonder if one of his ancestors owned a plantation in the South. Because there were black slave owners, especially sugar plantation owners in New Orleans. So getting back to Yahoo News, Brooklyn subway shooting suspect Frank James arrested in New York City. By the way, being a YouTuber, I've never heard of this guy. If he had a YouTube channel, it's like James88 or something. Something really cheesy. At least here you get some originality, okay? What you see is what you get on the channel. Okay, this is by Dylan Stableford, senior writer. Ooh, senior writer. Whatever happened to Yahoo? I was reading a while back that Yahoo didn't jump on the bandwagon when this whole search engine idea exploded on the internet. And they said, no, we don't want anything to do with that. So here comes Google. So Yahoo's kind of fallen by the wayside, but you still can find articles at Yahoo News. I think one of the things that also did Yahoo in was a while back they didn't allow people to comment anymore on different stories, which was a lot of fun. Yahoo, people don't want to admit this, but Yahoo was pre-Twitter. It was the Twitter of its day. So, story here by Dylan Stableford, senior writer, and you should have seen this press conference. This was a train wreck. They couldn't even get the mayor on camera right. Can you hear me? Am I here? Well, we see you. I don't know if we can hear you, but we can see you. Could we please get these press conferences together? And can we please come up with a different narrative than we found the suspect? You know, here's one thing I noticed about this. As I was saying, nobody has a concealed weapon that could possibly stop one of these perpetrators from carrying out these terrorist attacks or crimes. But here comes the FBI, here comes the government swooping in to save the day, right? And apparently this guy, this Frank James guy, whatever his name, he was known to the authorities. Sounds like something I've heard before. So it says New York City police on Wednesday arrested Frank R. James, the suspect in the mass shooting that occurred on a crowded subway train in Brooklyn the day before. James, 62, was taken into custody in the East Village of Manhattan without incident, police said. Oh, of course. At a press conference on Wednesday afternoon, and you should have seen that footage. That looked so staged. I'm sorry, it looked staged. It did. So at a press conference on Wednesday afternoon, New York City Police Commissioner Keechant Sewell said James was stopped on the street by two officers in response to a tip police received on its Crime Stoppers hotline. He was arrested and transported to an NYPD facility where he will be processed. Quote, we used every resource at our disposal. Apparently not when your cameras weren't working, your street cameras. We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere for him left to run. Okay, but yet he was able to ride the subway for 20 some odd hours, and you guys didn't catch him then. Breon Peace, U.S. Attorney for the... don't you love these names, folks? Breon Peace, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, said James will be arraigned in Brooklyn federal court and charged with several crimes, including terrorism against a mass transit system, a federal offense. He faces up to life in prison if found guilty. Or it's probably going to end up with a plea deal. They'll pay him off. Put him in the witness protection program. James was identified by police as a quote-unquote person of interest and then formally a suspect after keys from a U-Haul. Now this makes no sense. And I was talking with my bus driver about this last night. I told my bus driver, did you hear about this shooting in New York, near Brooklyn subway? And, pardon me, my sinuses are going. With that wind today, I'll tell you what, it is wreaking havoc on my sinuses like no tomorrow. And we got gusts here like 60 miles an hour. I just peeked out my window a few minutes ago before I started the video, and you could see debris, you could see dust flying in the air, if that tells you anything. Okay, so getting back to what it was saying here. James was identified by police at, I just lost my place. Let me go back into this. I hit the wrong button here. Okay, that's it. We'll do the video over, right? So James was identified by police as a quote-unquote person of interest and then formally a suspect after keys from a U-Haul van that he rented in Philadelphia were found in the subway following Tuesday morning's attack. But the U-Haul had Arizona license plates, and he also had a residence in Wisconsin. I mean, this guy got around. He was known to authorities. Did I mention that? Quote, my fellow New Yorkers, we got him, New York City Mayor Eric Adams said. Oh, how cheesy, how generic. It's a via video from Gracie Mansion where you couldn't even bother setting up this camera correctly. These people can't do anything right. Where he has been isolating after testing positive for COVID-19, less than 30 hours later, we're able to say we got him. Earlier Wednesday, just clarify, the mayor was isolating from COVID-19. Come on, man. It's been 2 years since COVID hit. You people in New York, you guys can't get a plan together to combat this thing, really? We're doing fine here. I didn't even have to do this video with a mask. How about that? Somebody just slammed their car door. I hate it when people do that. They slam their door, the car door. It's like saying, hey, I'm here. You should know I'm here. I'm just going to slam my car door and let you know I'm here. Earlier Wednesday, the NYPD released new photos of James, including stills from surveillance cameras outside the 36th Street subway station in Sunset Park, Brooklyn, where the shooting occurred. Oh, ain't he a beaut? I'm going to say something that's going to sound really racist, but let me tell you something. I would say this of anybody of any race, gender, who committed this type of crime, or supposedly committed this crime. This guy is a 5'5" dark meat butterball. That's what he is. So if you're Asian and you committed this crime, I would call you an Asian blowfish. If you were Hispanic, I'd call you a runaway taco. If you were white, I'd call you a butter hog. It don't matter to me. Oh, this guy's got one hell of an ugly kisser, let me tell you. So a $50,000 reward has been, that's all? $50,000? Come on, man, let's up the stakes here. Can you do like $1 million reward? A $50,000 reward has been offered to find James, who police said who had been offered to find James, past tense, who police said had addresses in, as I was mentioning, Wisconsin and Philadelphia. NYPD Chief of Detectives James Essig said James was known to police, and had an extensive arrest history that included, here you go, folks, 9 prior arrests dating from 1992 to 1998, ranging from burglary and criminal sex. Ooh, he's been a bad boy. To sex acts, to trespassing, disorderly conduct, but he has had no prior felony convictions and was not known to the FBI. Let's go back through that again. He had 9 prior arrests. He was known to police between 1992 and 1998. Talking about burglary, sex act, criminal sex acts, trespassing, disorderly conduct. But he had no prior felony convictions and was not known to the FBI. Something doesn't add up here. I'm sorry. It just doesn't add up. Apparently, these people in New York add 2 and 2 together, they get 5. Witnesses to Tuesday's shooting told police that as the train was pulling into the 36th Street station, James donned what appeared to be a gas mask, took 2 canisters out of his bag and opened them, filling the car with smoke. James then brandished a Glock 17 9mm handgun, firing it at least 33 times. Or firing it 33 times, pardon me. 10 people were shot and an additional 13 people were injured in the chaos that followed. All are expected to survive. So nobody died in this. Thank God for that. Am I correct on that? Okay. So 10 people were shot, additional 13 were injured. Okay, but all are expected to survive. Great. So there's a happy ending somewhere in this. Essig said that James was then boarded an R train, traveled 1 stop, and exited at 25th Street. Police recovered a handgun, 3 magazines, 2 detonated smoke grenades, 2 non-detonated smoke grenades, a hatchet, gasoline, and the U-Haul keys at the scene. Boy, sounds like something that a criminal has on his Christmas wish list, doesn't it? The gun was purchased legally by James in Ohio in 2011, Essig said. While there is no known motive, a YouTube channel that appeared to belong to James contains numerous videos in which he ranted about gun violence and mass shootings, as well as race issues. In one video uploaded on Monday, James said he had thought about killing people. In YouTube, okay, so YouTube wasn't alerted about this. Okay, hello, I'm a YouTuber. Okay, you weren't alerted about this. You're going to go after us for talking about the 2020 election or speaking our mind on this issue or that issue. But a guy who is talking about killing people, you're not going to go after him? YouTube, Google? Come on, get with the times, man. Get with the program. Yeah, I call everybody out. I don't care. In another, he discussed a plan announced by Adams and New York Governor Kathy Hochul, I believe that's how you pronounce the last name, Hochul, to protect people on the city's subway system. Quote, their plan is doomed for failure, James said. That's the end of the article. Well, that sucked. Just when it was getting good, Yahoo News stopped. No wonder Yahoo News or Yahoo isn't doing so hot. You can't complete a story. And this is your senior editor, your senior writer here, right? Senior editor, senior writer. Senior writer. There you go. That just means he's been there a long time. They haven't given him a pay raise. That's all you need to know. So once again, story by Dylan Stableford. Brooklyn subway shooting suspect Frank James arrested in New York City. Hope you enjoyed the video. Had a comment on this. I was debating whether I should. We said, I got to do a YouTube video, so let's just have some fun, do it in real time. If you like the video, you know what to do. This is Culture Confederacy saying peace out. Stay safe, everybody. God bless this great country, and I'll catch you next time.